Hello, Mo.
Hey.
I'm very happy to be here with you today. We have some pretty good news we announced today.
Yeah, pretty exciting day.
From a company standpoint, what's interesting is that we are both focused on the same thing, which is help companies create value faster, right? But you did it in obviously a slightly different way than we did. That's why I think it's very interesting. Can you maybe explain what's your view of the market and what's so unique about Codeship?
Yeah, so where we are coming from is really, we have a strong belief in making a CI/CD as simple as possible for the customer. We believe that continuous integration, continuous delivery is a very exciting problem, but we also acknowledge that we are maybe in the minority when we think about that. So our customers, they don't need to solve the problem in the way we are doing it. We solve it for them. They sell other products, right? Our customers are not making money by selling a CI/CD product. They leverage a CI/CD product to develop their software in a better and faster way. So that is where we are coming from, and that is why I also think that we are a good fit, because I think that really unites us. We want to solve the same problem. What we have done, I think, in a very unique way is, because of that focus on simplicity, we got very obsessed in the beginning in making sure that you get to a green build, your first deployment within like less than a minute. That was always very important for us, and we always measured the seconds it took every new user to get from A to B. And so I think that is really, you can really see that in the product. We are coming from a point where we try to maybe make things sometimes simpler than you should maybe make them. And so I think we can learn a lot from CloudBees, because with our larger customers, we now acknowledge, okay, it's not all about simplicity, right? You really need to figure out when should you simplify something and when do you need to give the power to a developer or a infrastructure engineer or a build automation engineer, so that they can get everything they need out of their CI/CD platform.
Yeah, and it's funny because on our side, in parallel, as you said, I think we're more focused on, since we come from the Jenkins world, Jenkins is all about customizability, right? You can pretty much configure Jenkins to do anything. And what we've observed in the last few years is that because DevOps is becoming more mainstream, there is this desire for people to get a more opinionated way to do things, right? It's not so much, we want to do continuous delivery and we have all of those constraints, here is how we want to do it, so we need something flexible. It's more, well, we know we need to get better at producing software. That means continuous delivery. Just tell us how to do it, right?
Yeah, I agree.
On our side, we also moved more towards this opinionated way of doing things with projects like Blue Ocean, with pipeline, declarative pipeline. And so that's where I feel some of the stories is really appealing, because we're coming at it from two different audiences, persona, but really we're, I think, trying to solve the same type of issues. So
yeah, I totally agree. I think it's important that you give choice to our customers and allow them to do whatever they want. But then we have to acknowledge that a lot of teams, a lot of engineers out there are also overwhelmed by that freedom, right? Sometimes, as you said, you really want to know what's the best practice. Like, you tell me, because you are doing that for thousands of customers, so you should know, right? Just tell me. Right. So I think it's the delicate balance between when to really give somebody an opinionated way of configuring a build pipeline, for example, and when to let people just do whatever they want. And I think it can be unified in a product if we learn from each other's experience. So I think that is key.
Today, I don't think we're going to talk much about roadmaps per se, but I think we can mention that we already had discussion about at least making sure that our combined customers can navigate our offering in a easy fashion, right? It should be easy to start one place and go to the other. I think one of the use cases we talked about, we see a lot of companies adopt continuous delivery first through teams, and those teams can't handle servers, can't handle those type of customization. So SaaS is a perfect way to go. But then as you expand and want to maybe have an enterprise-wide deployment, you want to still keep some of the same philosophy, maybe all of the configuration and job description, but you need to have increased configurability because maybe you need to hook it to an Active Directory on premise or whatever. So this is kind of the things we've discussed, right?
Yeah. So I think there are a lot of possibilities, right? I'm very excited about that, because I think I think at the end of the day, it should be easier for a customer that is already using Codeship. It should be easier for the customer to then go and configure Jenkins, right? And the other way around. If you are a Jenkins expert, we understand what you know, and we should take that knowledge and help you to get started with Codeship faster. And there are, I think, a lot of ways how we can figure out how the configuration can be similar or at least works on both platforms, so that you really have less work, have to think less about it, but get better results faster at the end of the day.
What I love about all of this is, at the end of the day, it means that through our combined entity, we're going to be able to offer continuous delivery to everybody in the best of breed fashion, right? It's not just about offering a sub-quality product that kind of fits everybody, but I do think that we have multiple offerings that really are best of breed in their own domain, and that's very unique on the market.
Yeah, and I think that's also how the industry and the market is going to purchase software more and more going forward, right? It's about choice. I think the times where there is this one person in a company on the exec level that decides what software every employee across the board should use, I think those times are more and more over. You have more and more teams that pick software independently. You have very different use cases, cloud versus on-prem, microservices versus monoliths. So there are simply different requirements, and I think the companies that are very successful in the market, they give the customer choice. And we give the customer choice because you can pick the Codeship products, you can pick the CloudBees products, whatever is right for you. You can still talk to the same company. You can get everything from us. You can talk to your support engineer or customer success engineer and get everything from us, and we help you. So you have one company to talk to, but you can pick the products. And I think that approach is better for the customer and therefore better than saying, look, there's this one Codeship platform or this one CloudBees platform and you have to use it for everything. I think that's not the right approach. And I think we see that when we talk to our customers, and you see that when you talk to your customers.
One thing that probably some people will care about, because you've created with your user base, I think a pretty nice relationship, right? If you go online, if you go on Twitter, there is really something pretty unique that you've created with your company. Is what happens to the, how do you call the Codeship employees, a Codeshipper or Codeshippers, right? So what happens to the Codeshippers?
We will continue working on our products. Maybe there are some people helping us from the CloudBees team or vice versa. Again, eventually we want to create those unified experiences across all products. That is what matters. And for that, we need all the people who know how to do that.
Yeah, and I have to say, through all of the work that led to this, we had a lot of discussion with different people on your team, and CloudBees is very excited to get that DNA injection, right? Because it's all about DNA at the end of the day, and I think we can learn a lot in so many ways. I mean, you've shown incredible expertise at SaaS, at being able to test new features online in real time. You know, for us, we came from a SaaS world before, but since then we've become more of a software company, and so I think it's going to be greatly beneficial for CloudBees as well, and we will see that goodness in many products.
And it was always hard for us because we simply come from a slightly different world. We were moving up market, we were getting larger and larger customers, but we don't have the experience you have. And I think that's unfortunate, or now fortunate, because we get that experience, right? And now we can think through, okay, how should the product really look like? And where are really points where we have to say, look, that is where Codeship is not great anymore, but because there's this unified experience, go and use CloudBees products and it will work out of the box for you. And it's similar to Codeship, but it scales far better. It works far better for your really big use case. I'm very excited.
So I'd like to take that opportunity to say a few things about Jenkins as well, because I know out of the people listening to us today, some might think, well, so CloudBees, are they moving away from Jenkins? And I just want to clarify that this week, actually, as we're recording this, we have dozens of people around us, part of the product management team and engineering leadership working on the plan for the next quarters, and Jenkins is on all walls. So we're very much committed to Jenkins. This didn't change. We're going to announce a lot of great stuff. So it's really offering more option, more choices to different audiences, but it's not a way to change or modify any commitment to Jenkins.
Yeah, I think that's important, and the same is true on Codeship's end, right? We won't take Jenkins and put Jenkins into Codeship, and that's suddenly the new Codeship. So I think what's important to us is what is best for the customer, and then solving the CI/CD problem for everybody. And then what we will work on together is building the products that are needed by the market and give the market the choice. And a lot of people will go with Jenkins, and people will also go with Codeship, and that is, I think, great for everybody, and then everybody gets the product that works best.
Right. Essentially, if you want best of breed CI/CD, if you want to be able to start, evolve, and not be limited in any way, you come to CloudBees.
Exactly.
All right, easy. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. You need to learn French now, yeah?
I will learn oui.
Mein Deutsch ist sehr gut, also.